The grappling hook in Space Station 14 is a real weird piece of equipment. As of right now, and I think it's had this for quite a while, it quite literally has infinite range. I could prove that real quick. This trading post is, 370 meters away from this console, well beyond what a grappling hook should be able to reach. But if you go out in the space, and you know which direction you're grappling onto, you can grapple onto anything. So if you know the VG roid is in a certain direction, you can grapple to it. Round start. You don't need a jetpack. So I'm just going to walk off the grid. Not attached to anything, obviously. If I shoot my grappling hook out, well, the impulse has knocked me back towards the station a little bit. But there's no indication that you've grabbed anything, except maybe the fact that if it's close enough and you hook onto it, you'll lose your momentum. There's no sound effect. The rope disappears. If you have grappled something, again, it can be literally thousands of meters away. I tested this. I grappled onto the VG roid from the station. Yeah, you can just pull yourself to anything if it's a physical like wall or something. This thing is hundreds and hundreds of meters away, and I don't even know how I grappled down to something like this, but I managed to grab the ATS almost 500 meters away, and it like tries to like push you away. It's obviously like there's just something wrong, but you can keep pulling yourself in. And if I want to go back to the station, well, the station's easier to hit, so I just shoot it in that direction. Just kind of hold A until I hit something, and as soon as you start moving, you know you have latched onto something. That actually wasn't even why I was going to make this video, but why not? The grappling gun is probably the best tool in the game, because... And segue into why I was going to make this video in the first place, you don't even need the grappling gun in your hand after you shoot it, you can put it in your pocket. So you can have two hands on a gun, and like keep fighting or something in space. And when you attach to something this far away, you essentially have free movement in space as if you had a jetpack. You're not quite as fast, but I don't know. This whole thing is just goofy. Now let's get on to the actual part of this video beyond this obvious bug. When doing space debris, the grappling gun is your best friend. So I'm just going to claim a space debris and show you exactly why. So the space debris is not exactly lined up with the salvage dock, but it is lined up with the northern docks here, so I'm just going to use these. Cargo won't mind if the ship's not here. If not, you could just go around and fly onto space. You're a salvager. So the grapple gun will let you attach on anything from infinite range, but I'm just going to run off the side, keep my grapple gun in my hand, and realistically the momentum should get me close enough. Yes, it did. So now what we need to do is we need to grapple around the edge like this, and just keep moving around the outside. Don't actually touch the grid. Just be very cautious, because what we're trying to do is we're going to kill all the enemies on here without taking any damage ourselves. Having long range like this, like actually like forcing yourself off the grid before you attach, actually makes fighting things easier, because you get more maneuverability because there's more slack on the line, I guess, is the logic there. But you can actually just keep your PKA in your offhand and just be even more ready for when you actually see an enemy. So I know there's more pieces over here. There we go. So there are enemies here, and now that I have grappled on to this ledge right here, I could put the grapple gun in my pocket, as mentioned previously, get my PK out, two-hand it, and now I can just use this distance to kill the enemies for free. You can even run back on the grid to try to bait the enemies towards you like that, and then just throw yourself off the edge, because enemies cannot leave their grid to actually attack you. So this is completely risk-free salvage combat. Yes, unfortunately the PvE mobs in this game are incredibly cheesable, and often fighting them in any fair capacity will just lead to your death, because a lot of them, like shark minnows especially, just can't be fought with normal melee weapons. It's not like you start with like high DPS guns, so killing really tanky mobs like that just isn't possible until you get better equipment. Yeah, like cheesing in games is always questionable, but space combat is really brutal for salvage. If you take one minor mistake out here, you could very easily get round removed or lost. So pretty much all salvagers, and honestly throughout all my experience playing video games, people will find ways to cheese PvE mobs. This is just a fact of gaming, is people will use safe spots. So this is essentially the salvage safe spot, and yes, the grappling gun is even great against the hardest mobs in the game, which I will showcase in 1 second. So even out on the VG-roid, which realistically, if you're ever coming out here, you're probably gonna have a jetpack. Which just picture you have a jetpack when you're doing something like this. You can literally just kind of move around on the outer edges of the world here, on the outside of the asteroid, looking for enemies. Uh, Again, enemies in this game are just not very well suited for space combat. Ironically, even though they're pretty much all combat happens in space now because going on planets is basically dead. So like yeah, here's a Hive Lord and having no issue safe spotting it. Unwield the PKA, take a grapple gun, and just keep your one hand on PKA, one hand on the grapple hook. And if you do this right, you can literally never be hit by an enemy. Of course, once you actually go inside of the actual VG-roid, you can't do this as easily. You can try to bait them to the edge of space. There's definitely other cheese methods, but I'm not trying to like make the game cheesy. But like right now, right here, there is nothing stopping me from putting the grapple gun here, getting my PKA out. I don't even have any upgrades in it or anything. Don't really need it. Just shooting through the grills and just safe spotting these Goliaths, then I can get a free Goliath suit, which, like, this is pretty much what most salvagers do, is this. By giving really good and really strong gear locked behind very easy to cheese and kill AI is just easily abused in this game. It's like, oh, they're getting out of my range a little bit. Let me just safely make some more room here. I think you get the point. I can just keep sitting here shooting them all day. This is the way to basically guarantee you can never be hurt while out in space on a salvage expedition. If you go on an actual planet, you're gonna have to utilize better methods. Space just unfortunately lets you cheese enemies way too easily. The grapple hook is a big part of this. Jetpacks definitely don't help either, but just basically this is salvage combat 101.